Hi, everyone. Today we're going to talk about a topic that is very popular with people that have been in the dating phase for quite a while. And it's partners that have been dating and they have come to a point of the relationship where they want to make a commitment or and decide whether they should live together or get engaged. And so a common question that couples ask is, should we move in together before getting engaged or wait? And so I would like to address this topic. I think the best solution is to wait and take whatever time is needed to get to know each other well. Experience at least 10 arguments or disagreements to see how they get resolved. Now, I just want to stop right here and say, I just arbitrarily said 10 arguments. Okay. I just picked out 10 arguments. It's not a hard, fast rule, folks. Whatever works for you guys. Okay. If you know your relationship, okay. If after 3 fights, you still feel you guys haven't ironed out, how to communicate effectively and how to resolve conflict, then I would say then to give it more time. So it may take 5, it may take a few more arguments. But the key is not so much the number, is you wanna see the consistency of how you both communicate and resolve conflict. That's the whole, I wanna say that's the intention of why it's important to wait and see how conflicts are resolved. So that's gonna be different per couple. Some couples may only need 5 arguments and they're good, right? Some may need 10. But it's not so much the number of arguments, it's how many it takes before you both feel that you come to a place where there's an understanding, there's a healthy, communication between the 2 of you, that you're able to resolve conflict in a healthy manner, okay? Resolving conflict in a healthy manner is important for the health and success of any relationship. Then, once conflict resolution is consistently satisfactory, then moving forward with engagement and a long term commitment can be discussed and agreed upon, whether that means living together or getting married. The reason why conflict resolution is so critical to the success of a relationship is because it's the number one reason I believe why relationships and marriages fail. Part of building a solid friendship is being able to communicate effectively and resolve conflict in a healthy manner. And when the relationship is rushed and both partners quickly move in together, get engaged or married, the possibility of a breakup or divorce is high because both partners haven't developed a strong enough friendship and, more importantly, the conflict resolution skills required for a healthy and successful relationship. Okay? So let me just say this again. Um, and when the relationship is rushed and both partners quickly move in together, get engaged or married, the possibility of a breakup or divorce is high because both partners haven't developed a strong enough friendship and, more importantly, the conflict resolution skills required for a healthy and successful relationship. Okay, some may argue that couples can build a friendship while living together, but here's the problem. While that is true, but what if there isn't enough compatibility to build a strong friendship and things don't work out? Now the two people are stuck living together and it just complicates the situation because one or both will need to move out. So instead of having to go through all the trouble, expense, and stress of moving out while dealing with the pain of a relationship ending, it is simpler and far less traumatic if both partners are not living together while they decide to end the relationship. Okay, so let me just stop right here. It's true that I've often heard people say, if you live together, that's the best way to get to know each other well. I will not dispute that fact. That is true. Okay. However, um, if you look at, we want to think the best and hope that if you move in together, things will work out. But sometimes it doesn't, folks. We've all heard of best friends that move in together and then 2 months later they're arguing and they're not getting along and they end up breaking up. Even platonic friends could have that problem, right? You could have a best friend, platonic friend, and you move in together and then just or things don't work out. And that's the reason, is because when you live together, uh, it is a way that you really get to know each other very well. However, there's other ways that you can also get to know each other very well. If you both live in separate places and one of you spend time at the other place, you can spend a week or two, pack up a suitcase and live with your partner for a week or a few days, and vice versa. They can come to your apartment or house and live with you, And, but the key is at least both of you will have your separate places to live, and you can still find creative ways to get to know each other very well. Okay, you can see each other often, and you can even do a mini trip or vacation at each other's homes over vacation or a long weekend or a holiday. There's many creative ways that you guys can see each other frequently and get to know each other well from a living perspective. Okay. And I just think, with all the high rate of divorce and people breaking up all the time, it's just in your best interest for both parties concerned that you stay in your separate homes or apartments wherever you're living, and you can find creative ways to get to know each other well. Okay. But yeah, I just don't think it's a good idea. I don't think the best idea is to move in together. I think you should wait and make sure that you guys get to know each other well and can resolve conflict in a productive manner. And this way, if things work out, great, and then you can go on to the next step of commitment. If things don't work out, at least you have your separate places, right? It's we all know the having a breakup is extremely painful and it's emotionally draining. The last thing you want to do is be at that position where you're breaking up or not getting along, or and then you both are stuck, right? Then you might be arguing about who's going to move out. So that's just not a wise position to put yourself in, because when people break up, it's very traumatizing as it is. Just the breakup itself is very traumatizing and emotionally painful. So we don't want to add to that level of discomfort and stress. So if you're not living together, it makes it a little bit easier. You can both go back to your own place and move on to the next step of healing and grieving the relationship. So it's just I think it's the best way to take precautions and to protect your heart. Uh, Obviously, if things don't work out, it's going to hurt. It's going to be painful, but at least you're there's not further stress, because if you're living together, if the relationship has gotten so combative, then now you're going to argue about who's going to move out, or some people get real vindictive, and that's another thing we need to keep in mind, folks. You don't really know somebody until you get to know them really well. And so you don't know if your partner what they're capable of, if they're vindictive. You hear all these horror stories. People lock each other out of the house. They change the locks, all kinds of crazy stuff, right? And so you don't want to put yourself in that position. Or if your partner ends up being physically abusive. It works both ways. It's not just men abusing women. Women can abuse men. So you don't want to put yourself in a compromising position when you don't know your partner very well. Okay? So I would highly recommend that you wait. It's definitely in both of your partner's best interest to wait. Take the time, find ways to get to know each other well without moving in together first. Okay? Um Look, folks, I'm all for finding a lifetime partner, getting engaged and married. But with the high divorce rates, as we talked about earlier, and having been divorced myself, I want to share the wisdom learned so you don't have to learn the hard way. And we all know hindsight is always 2020. So it's better to be patient, give your relationship time to grow and develop. There is no need to feel rushed into engagement or marriage. It's a life-changing decision and one that should be made with the utmost consideration and prudence. In summary, it will behoove you to get to know each other well, experience at least 10 arguments or disagreements, and like I said, that number 10 is not set in stone. It's not etched in stone. It's going to depend on each couple in the relationship. Okay? I just said 10 as an arbitrary number that you can shoot for. 10 arguments or disagreements to see how they get resolved. Once conflict resolution is consistently satisfactory, then move forward with engagement, living together, and or marriage. Okay? Um, so I just want to say that it's really um, it's really difficult when the emotions are high and both parties are so looking forward to the future and they have plans for being together, getting married. Uh, but again, as you all know, the divorce rate is very high, at least 50%. Okay, and I from what I understand with other dating coaches online, they're saying that for second and third marriages, the divorce rate's even higher. I think it's like 65% or something like that, something crazy, some crazy number. But so that's why we need to heed the caution and just slow down a little bit. Take and it doesn't take that long, folks. We're not talking years for you to get to know somebody well. If you just be patient and you see each other often enough, you will get to know each other well. I would say within 5 to 6 months or less. So it's not going to take a very long time to get to know each other. So it's worth the several months to just be patient and get to know each other, see all sides of each other, all colors of each other, right? All the flaws and imperfections. The differences will come up after the romance phase. The differences will come up. Okay, it doesn't matter how much two people have in common, or how much in love they think they are. Okay, there's differences. Always going to be differences. No two people are alike. You ask any marriage couple, and they'll tell you. Okay, um, so just take the time. Okay, work out the differences, and folks, you might be surprised when you get to know someone very well. You may find out there are the deal breakers that you can't live with. There may be, lifestyle habits or values and lifestyle and differences, and you just don't know someone until you live with that person. Okay, and especially when stress and conflict enters the picture. Okay, I've always heard it said that you really don't get to know someone's true. You don't really get to see someone's true colors until they're under stress, and then that's when you get to see someone for who they really are. Okay. And so again, I'm not saying if you get into arguments, it's a deal breaker. That's not what I'm saying. The purpose of when you do get into arguments, disagreements, is to see how they're resolved. That's the key. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Um, and it's scary when I hear people say, "Oh, we never argue." That's a red flag. You ask any marriage couple who's been married for a long time, they'll tell you, you may not have real bad arguments, right? But there's still going to be disagreements because no two people are the same. And so how both people iron out the differences and how they discuss, excuse me, how they discuss and resolve conflict is going to determine the success of a long-term relationship. Okay? So enough said. This is a short video. I thought it was worth putting it out there for those of you who are dating and you are at the point that you're looking at making a decision of further um, commitment to your partner. All right, this is definitely worth. I feel it's worth that for me to put this video out, so give you guys something to think about and consider. All right. If you resonate with this video, please click like and click share. Please subscribe to my channel so that you can be notified of all the videos that are coming up. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below the video, and I'll be happy to reply to your comments or questions. Okay? So, folks, thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. All right, bye.